on IGF there was student games, and one of those games was Devil's Tuning Fork, and it was one of the most unique games I've seen on the show floor here. So I'm here with Jake, who is one of the developers of it, and what is it like to be here? Is this like your first convention other than IGF?
Yep, we went to GDC 2 weeks ago, and coming out here has definitely been a really cool experience. I've never seen anything like it. I've never been to any other types of conventions, so this is definitely a really cool experience.
Now, what inspired Devil's Tuning Fork to come about? Were you to take like months of you just sitting at a table going, what do we do for this class? Or something like that?
It was sort of like that. I mean, it was the first 2 weeks, we did it it wasn't actually for a class, we did it as a sort of a side project, and there was about 15 of us, and we sat around for a couple weeks and we're like, what would win the IGF? You know, what kind of game would win the IGF? And we really wanted to make something innovative. So for about 2 weeks, we threw ideas back and forth. We came up with about 25 to 50 ideas, and then from there, we expanded about 20 of them into bigger treatments. And then from there, we took 2 of them and prototyped them. And so we ended up with Echo, which turned into Devil's Tuning Fork, and we ended up with another one called Astoria, which was a story-based platformer, sort of in the vein of Scribblenauts, which is partially why we abandoned it, but just can't beat Scribblenauts. It's hardcore. Yeah.
Well, maybe fortunately. Yeah. I don't know. So for people who don't know about Devil's Tuning Fork, what exactly is the game about, and what is like the main gameplay mechanic?
The premise of the game is that you play as a child who was sucked into this other universe, and a whole bunch of children around the world have been sucked into the universe as well, and they're trapped there. And you somehow wake up and you can move, and there's this tuning fork, Devil's Tuning Fork, which is making sound, and the only time you can ever see is when it's making sound. So you go collect it, and then you have the power to make sound and see. And so this universe is really a world where vision has been taken away from you, and the only way you can see is through actually making noises. And so we tried to put a lot of the different sound properties of sound that give the player the ability to really work and enjoy sort of being blind, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of like the Unfinished Swan, but with sound.
Right, yeah. Exactly. I mean, Unfinished Swan was definitely a big influence. Portal was a big influence. I mean, these games are first-person games, great experiences that really took the first-person shooter genre, and we're like, we're not going to do a shooter. We're going to do something that's different, that doesn't have violence in it and stuff, and that's really what we wanted to do.
Now, the Odd Gentlemen, which also did a student project, they went out and actually made the game for Xbox Live Arcade with the help of 2K. Do you think that you'll see Devil's Tuning Fork or any products with your team eventually go into that phase, or do you prefer releasing games to the PC and going into that indie route, just releasing freeware titles?
Well, preferably, that's one of the things we're sort of working on right now is trying to find a publisher, and we would really like to see it out there on XBLA or PSN, or Steam, or now Steam's on Mac. One of the big things we got on feedback was like, why isn't this game made for Mac? And we were like, well, we didn't have enough time to make a port for Mac. But now it's, yeah, I mean, it's actually, you could play it on Mac and Linux using Wine, but we didn't set that up yet. So, yeah, I mean, definitely would love to see the game come out on XBLA, PSN, but it really comes down to, making a deal with the publisher, and that's something we're working on, so.
So where can people find this game if they wanted to get it?
It's available on our website at devilstuningfork.com. It's free right now. It's 3 levels, about 45-minute experience, and hopefully within the next 3 months to a year, you see it out there commercially and be able to purchase it. So.
We'll see it announced at E3, right?
That would be great, but
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So you got it. That's Devil's Tuning Fork.